Hey!
Hi, Paranormal Pixies. I have a very sore throat, so I'm not going to be talking as much today. But we have Coco.
He just stuck his tongue out when you did that.
And we have Bone Daddy.
Yep. Still without a hat.
Yes.
Oh, well.
And Rhonda.
Yep. So we were going to do fairies this week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So you get to talk.
Well, I brought several things. If you're looking for a really good book on fairies, this one, Enchantments of the Fairy Realm by Ted Andrews, who unfortunately passed away, I believe, a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really good one. I also have a list of common types of fairies.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So what are common types of fairies?
Well, there is, let's see, the well-known pixie, which is a small winged fairy that has a human form and at its tallest is only 6 inches tall.
Okay.
They are attracted to small children. This had pictures, so I'm like, Spirit of the Night, what?
Yeah.
Small children, laughter, and happiness. They love gardens and other flowering plants. They're known to sip nectar from flowers like honeysuckle, kind of like hummingbirds. You know?
Right.
Fun-loving, carefree, and prankish, they often take the household items from the humans, only to return them later when after they've had their fun.
So they're related to the paper goblins.
Probably, yeah.
That's my own little thing.
Yeah. They are more spontaneous and active than their larger fairy counterparts and generally have a shorter attention span. They are very social beings and live in a monarchy under a king or queen. I thought all fairies did.
I know not.
Well, isn't there Queen Mab, like the queen of the fairies?
Well, Titania is too.
Yeah, that's true. And then we have trooping fairies, generally the same size as pixies, but have no wings.
Okay.
I'm like, well, what's the point of being a fairy if you have no wings?
Oh, you got to ask them.
I would feel kind of gypped. They're known as trooping fairies because they travel together in long processions. And I had that card that has a picture of the trooping fairies on it, but I couldn't find it. I was going to bring it. No, I couldn't find it. The males often wear green jackets and tend to live near the woods where there's a lot of underbrush. They're also known to inhabit trees, often referred to by humans as fairy tree. Trooping fairies can be larger or smaller than 6 inches and can be friendly or sinister. That narrows it down.
Okay. Yes, it does. Friendly or sinister. You never know.
Yep. Then you have brownies, which at 4.5 feet tall, or no, 4.5 inches tall. I was like, wait a minute, there's no little thing there. Yeah. 4.5 inches tall. They're a bit smaller than pixies. Brownies and trooping fairies. Let's see. Brownies wear brown clothing, are very meticulous, and tend to have darker brown skin color. They have no wings, but are capable of getting to high places by each one climbing onto the other to boost each other up.
So they make a chain.
Yeah. These intelligent and good-natured fairies originated in Scotland. There's a shocker. And are known as household fairies, meaning they reside within the home and often do chores to help out a deserving human family in exchange for food and other offerings. They are nocturnal.
Okay, those are like the ones for the shoemaker. So,
yep.
There was also in the brownie legend that you're not allowed to talk about them.
Ah. We just ruined that.
No. If you have brownies in your house, and they are doing your chores, and somebody comes in and goes, your house looks so neat and everything's so tidy, you cannot let them know about the brownies.
Ah.
That's what they're talking about.
Okay.
You don't give away that secret. So
they need to come to my house.
Obviously, I have no brownies in this house.
Yeah.
I have 4 dogs that leave a lot of fur.
Yeah.
Especially the border collie who blows coat 24/7.
Jeez.
I'm always winding up with another dog.
Oh, yeah.
Just from the fur alone.
Yep.
Okay.
Then we have fawns.
Okay.
A creature of the woodland forest. The fawn has horns on his head and a body that resembles a goat. So basically like Pan, which was that
satyrs,
last week we were talking about satyrs? Yeah. Fawns tend to be alluring, seductive, and compelling. I don't know if I would call them seductive.
No, they are considered seductive.
Often preying on the unsuspecting by using mind control and magic conjured from their pipes or flute to get what they desire from their victim. According to the elves, if one sees a fawn, avert your eyes because as soon as they have your attention, you are under their control. That's why humans have depicted Satan to be a fawn. They are neutral, but can be very dangerous.
Yeah, they're supposed to have like the upper body of a human, but it's kind of hairy.
Yeah.
But they have the little horns. They tend to have the lower part is the goat part.
Yeah.
And they're naked, and so they're supposed to be very manly endowed.
Okay.
Yes, they're yeah.
Now I thought this one was interesting. Mer people.
That's in the fairy realm.
Yeah, and I always believed that, and then it showed up in here. Includes the well-known mermaid, merman, and the smaller freshwater dweller known as a garang. I'm guessing. Mer people are neutral but cooperate well with the elves and barter with them. They tend to be superficial and self-centered and are often depicted with a mirror and a comb. They are generally unhappy about the pollution and destruction of their waters and tend to hold humans responsible for this. Shocker.
That's because they are.
Yeah. So don't throw stuff in the oceans.
Anyway, whether mer people are getting out to get you or not.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be throwing stuff in the ocean.
Because it can hurt the turtles and
other wildlife. Yes.
Hey, still, mermaids in particular tend to be very fond of human males and often fall in love with them, which unfortunately often ends up with the human drowning. They live in social communities. Yay. Then there's the leprechaun. You probably know more about leprechauns than I do.
Okay. But what have you got? Well, tell me about leprechauns. What do you know about leprechauns?
Not a lot.
Well,
just what I have on here. Yeah. I just your typical, little green jacket and the hat with the, that all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lucky Charms.
Yeah, pretty much. Leprechauns tend to be solitary rather than social fairies and are usually seen wearing green clothing, sometimes with red, and a green hat. Said to be shoemakers by trade, they have the legendary pot of gold and enjoy matching wits with humans and are often victorious in this area. Why am I not surprised? Most have red hair and a well-groomed beard and have a rounded build which averages around 2 to 3 feet tall. Or is that inches? No. Inches.
No, that's 3 feet. It's inches?
Yeah, that's inches, isn't it?
Really? Well, yeah, if it's a double slash, it's inches.
Yeah. I thought they were taller than that.
That means they'd be like that big.
Yeah, we're just going to go with 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah, they're usually bigger than that.
Yeah. They are family-oriented but are not overly social to the other fae unless they have earned their trust. However, when money is involved, they will do business with everyone.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Then we have more of the darker fae, like the gnomes, hobgoblins.
Do you know the proper term for talking about the light fae versus the dark fae?
Yeah, the seelie and unseelie.
Very good. Yes.
Yep. Gnomes, everybody knows about gnomes. Make their homes underground near oak trees. They are known for their protection and healing of wildlife and in general are very beneficial to have around. In appearance, they are around 10 to 12 inches tall and wear a red pointed hat with blue or green jackets.
Yes. Now, what's the difference between Romeo and Juliet and the red caps? Do you know the difference?
I have no idea.
Because they do wear a red cap.
Okay.
So, the gnomes do. Red caps tend to be a little more, how can I put it, voracious.
Okay.
They tend to be ones that are territorial. They tend to be not friendly tricksters. The red cap is supposed to represent the blood of their victims.
Okay.
So that's what that is. Gnomes just wear the red caps because they go so well with the green outfit. They're complementary colors.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so we had the red hats and green jackets.
Yep, they mature early and both sexes have white hair by the time they are 100 or so with a lifespan of over 1,000 years.
Well, I will have white hair by the time I'm 100 too, so.
Yeah. On rare occasion, they can be found in human dwellings, but usually prefer to live in the woods closer to nature.
Right. Okay.
Then you have the hobgoblin, a dark brown creature who inhabits the forest areas. Yeah, that's where the picture was.
Yeah.
Live in trees. The hobgoblin is a solitary fae which enjoys keeping to himself or herself. The neutral this neutral fairy is generally a peaceful fellow and not aggressive unless provoked.
Mm-hmm.
His temper can flare easily, so it's wise to try and stay on his good side. Mm-hmm. They can get especially nasty if their tree is threatened.
Yes, so be careful with the trees, because there might be a hobgoblin. Now, another tree spirit, of course, are the dryads. Yeah. Do you have that one in there?
It should be in here.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got information from like 2 different websites.
Okay.
I mean, there's tons of things in here. Yeah, there's Divas and Dryad.
Okay. Yep. So, what's our next one?
Sarah Gwen. I've never heard of that.
Is it Sarah Gwen or is it the...
I wonder if it's elves.
You have the Grundles. Grundles
oh,
was
yeah,
next.
skipped one. The Grundles, and then I guess it's elves. I guess that's somebody who posted that on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So...
The Grundles, I'd never heard of the Grundles.
Okay. What's a Grundle? I am curious. What is a Grundle?
Have you ever heard of them?
What is a Grundle?
Most often found in the homes of larger elves, Grundles have a symbiotic relationship where they work for the elves in exchange for a protected home. They are dedicated to their host family of elves and generally stay with the same family for generations, moving with them as necessity dictates. Grundles are about 3 feet tall and often wear striped clothing.
Okay.
Not really that informative.
Well, I mean, essentially what it is, Grundles are, and they're saying a symbiotic relationship. So what they're doing is they're providing a service to the elves. Mm-hmm. And in return, they have a place where they are protected, fed, and housed. Okay. So it's like, I'll do this for you if you keep me from being eaten by, the birds. So, okay. And kept away from the humans. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next one is elves. I'm very interested in seeing what you found on those ones.
Well, from this page, it said, found in many places throughout the world, elves are very plentiful in Scandinavia, many parts of Europe, and more recently the United States. This is a very long-lived race and are gifted with sharper senses, grace, agility, and perceptions than humans. They excel in the arts and crafts, including the art of magic, which they define as the gathering, focusing and directing of natural energy. Mm-hmm. In general, they dislike technology and live close to nature in an idyllic setting, respecting and working with all aspects of nature.
So you were talking about the processional beings.
Yeah, the trooping fairies.
The trooping fairies.
Yeah.
A lot of the elves are trooping fairies. Yeah. They are fae. We should call them fae. Right. What it is the elves tend to do midnight trooping, where they will go out and they will ride the countryside. When I lived in Europe, now some people think of elves as Santa's elves, We are Santa's elves, filling Santa's shelves, la 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 la. We are Santa's elves.
Yeah, don't do that again.
I didn't go to elf practice, so I don't know how to wiggle my ears or wiggle my nose. So anyway, but that's what a lot of people think of, is these more smaller beings. When I lived in Germany, I talked to several people, or when I was visiting. I was really big into Tolkien. And so I was kind of curious of what the legends in the area of Germany that I lived in at the time, what their perceptions and what their legends and what they knew about elves. Right. And they are slightly taller than humans. They come out at night. Yeah. They play and frolic in the starlight and moonlight. And what they mean by that is essentially they're trooping out there and they hold dances. But they don't trust them. In most of the Christian culture, they do not trust the elves because of the magic, of the fact that it's not a Christian being. Yeah. So they look at it as unfriendly to humans. They are known to steal human babies. Yeah. Which we get, and I saw you have in there, the changelings. Which will be described later. But they are considered to be made of the moonlight and starlight, and so they have this effervescent glow about them. They're considered very beautiful. Just this, like, oh, oh kind of appearance to them.
Yeah.
And to see a troop sometimes is a dangerous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is the entering of a fairy ring or spying on them.
Yeah.
You can be captured by them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any information on that?
I don't think I had anything on the fairy rings.
And
but I know
the kidnapping. Do you have anything on the kidnapping?
No, this is mainly just the
different types of
different types. Yeah.
Okay.
But this one website, Lady Aleta, ALETA.com. That site is really good. She has a huge listing of all the different fae and all kinds of things like everything about them.
Mm-hmm.
Realfairies.net is where I got a lot of this. That's a good site. And eximplore.com. It's EXEMPLORE.com. Has the fairy dictionary, A to Z of fairies and the wee folk.
Okay.
And the author that I think runs that site is Nicole Caulfield or Canfield. Canfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but so the kidnapping, essentially, if you happen to walk into a circle that's being, and you won't see the fae at first.
Right.
Once you're in that circle, your eyes will be open.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, sometimes what they will do is they will kidnap you and take you into their realm for an evening of dance and pleasure.
Yeah.
When you get back, 100 years has passed.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a one day in Elf Kingdom Fae world is 100 years and hours.
Right.
So, you come back and most everybody you know doesn't even exist anymore.
Right.
So, unless you have a grandma that can, or a grandchild that will live to 100 anyway.
Yeah.
So time does not pass the same in their dimension as it does in ours. So, so I'm going to let you continue on. So we had, that was the elves.
Yep. And it talks about the two basic groups, the Seelie, those that work with humans to heal the planet, and the Unseelie, those who would rather solve the problem by eliminating humans altogether. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But this just goes on talking about different, like Alvin, Ashrays, Avalon, a mythical island, and fairy legends.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all stuff that's from realfairies.net.
Okay. As far as Avalon goes, do you know more about Avalon besides what it says there?
Oh yeah.
So what do you know about Avalon?
That it's a magical island that only the women that are the priestess of Avalon can part the veil to get to.
Okay. You've not heard about like Tor, what is it? The Tor in England.
Ashtonbury Tor or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Asbury Tor. Is that? Yeah, I know what it is.
Right.
It, yeah.
Anyway, there's an area in England where it's believed that the Isle of Avalon is actually located there. Mm-hmm. It's a large tor, which is a mound. It's a hill. That's what a tor stands for in England. Ashtonbury? Ashtonbury. Anyway, it is believed that the goddesses, the ladies of Avalon, and Guinevere, thank you. Guinevere is supposed to have been taken by them as well. Mm-hmm. So is Nimue. Okay? Mm-hmm. But mostly when Arthur died, they took his body to Avalon, which is the Isle of the Apples. Mm-hmm. And essentially he is buried there, supposedly, awaiting when he is to be called forth again, because we need him. We need him.
Yeah. Glastonbury Tor.
That's it. Glastonbury Tor. Yes. Glastonbury Tor.
Yep.
And there's a cathedral there.
Yeah.
And there is believed to be an area where it says that the monks had found this sarcophagus that said, that here lies Arthur and Guinevere.
Yeah.
So essentially, that goes to the legend of Avalon. Mm-hmm. So But that's the Isle of Apples.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an eternal land.
Yeah.
Kind of like equivalent of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else have we got here?
Well, like I said, this just goes on, like the peat fairy, the ballybog, banshee.
You don't have the... What does it say about banshees?
Banshee, washer at the fords, washerwoman, a type of fairy that has been seen and heard in Ireland and Scotland for hundreds of years, usually believed to announce or warn of the death of someone in some of the old Irish and Scottish families. When seen in Ireland, she's usually washing burial shrouds as a symbol for preparation for burial. She looks different in each region where she has been seen. Some say she is a gorgeous woman, while others claim she looks more like a green hag with scraggly hair and long nails. The one distinguishable quality of the banshee is her mourning wail, piercing an eerie cry that can be heard miles away. Some are comforted by her wailing, while others are instilled with immediate fear.
Depending how you look at the spelling, banshee can actually mean white fairy. Bon being white and shay meaning fairy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's how they have it right here.
Right.
Yeah.
But the washer at the ford, do you know who else the washer at the ford is?
I'm not sure.
Morgana.
Okay.
The goddess Morgana. Because she is washing, in that one, the washer at the ford, she is actually washing the blood out of the fallen soldiers' clothing and armor. To meet the washer at the ford is not a good... That means you're going to fall in battle.
Yeah.
The banshee, essentially, with the wail, there's different things. Like, if you hear it in a far distance, like a mild wail, then it means somebody close to you or that you know is going to. But if you hear it, like, when you're by yourself up close, it's you.
Yeah.
So, she doesn't actually kill the person. She is a forewarner. Right. She's a messenger. Something is happening, and it might be you, it might be somebody you know. Right. So, a lot of people have developed this where you're talking about the hag appearance, because somebody who is foretelling death, they're looking at it as, again, this is evil. So this is why they developed this hag appearance for her. Yeah. So. Okay. So what else have we got?
Well, I'm going to move on to this because we're running out of time here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's already 20 minutes in. But yeah, you can find all those at those different sites. Oh, and one thing I read that I hadn't heard of that I thought was kind of interesting was when someone is daydreaming, they're actually caught by fairy music.
Oh God, I literally live there now.
Okay, but this is different greetings. This exercise will begin to open your thoughts along the possibility of actual fairy encounters. If you can answer yes to any of these questions, you'll probably experience the fairy realm and just did not realize it. Yeah. So we have you ever seen a flash of light or a sudden quick movement out of the corner of your eye that could not be explained?
Say yes.
Have you ever seen flickers of light around your house plants or flowers?
Say yes.
I was just sitting there all
Coco's
chill.
Like me. I am.
Okay, when out in nature, have you ever felt as if the woods themselves were watching you? I have.
Common feeling. Coco wouldn't know that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you're even, like that one spot on that one back road, on the way to Western Hills, we go around and it's all woods. It's like you can just feel everything watching you as you drive through there. Yeah. Have you ever walked down the street and the fragrance of a tree or flower hits you strongly?
Yep.
Yeah, I smell flowers all the time in the middle of winter. Outside. Yeah. This is often a signal that you are being greeted. Some people experience this while those they may be walking with do not. Do you or have you ever felt uncomfortable in your basement, attic, or dark areas of the house? Yeah. Dark elves often take up residence in such places.
Depends on what part of the house it is, because there is an EMF cage down below, so so I get that anyway. Yeah. But it's not.
As a child, or maybe even as an adult, did your closet have to be closed before you could feel comfortable enough to go to sleep? My closet doors are always shut. Did you ever see, think, or believe there was something or someone in your closet? Again, dark elves take up residence in people's homes will often use the corners of a closet. Did you ever have or see a child with an imaginary playmate? Often they're not imaginary at all, but are members of the fairy realm.
I had my own.
Yeah. Did you ever observe children while playing and see them talking to themselves, especially when participating in outdoor activities?
I did that all the time.
Yeah. Do you find that talking to your plants helps them grow? Yes.
I get silk plants because I have the black thumb.
Well, see, if I plant something outside, it'll grow like crazy. If it's in a pot, it's doomed. Okay, this one I've had several times. Have you ever walked through an open field and found yourself brushing spider webs from your face?
Oh, well, okay. I lived out in the fields, and yes.
Yeah. Spider webs do not form at face level in open fields. They need something to cling to. Usually,
Right.
in such occurrences, you have been brushed by field fairies.
Right.
Yep. Because every time you do that, you don't find the spider web, Okay, did you ever hear music or singing from unidentified sources?
Yes.
Yeah. Do your dreams often and consistently involve outdoor environments, woods, fields, streams, etc.? This can often signal a calling by the fairies to you or memories of times in which you had encountered them.
No.
Yeah, I don't. Not very often.
My dreams are weird.
Yeah. We should talk about that sometime, how to remember your dreams. Okay, have you ever encountered an old woman while out walking in nature only to turn around the next moment and find her gone? I can't say that I've done that.
Well, okay. When I lived in Europe, lived in Europe, I wasn't just visiting, and that's happened when I'm visiting too. There was behind my grandfather's house, there was a large field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and on the other side of the field was the church.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful little onion domed church.
Yeah.
There was a dirt road that went around the church, past the field, and then it just turned into a path. It stopped becoming a road, and it kind of went up into the woods, into the forest behind the church.
Yeah.
And there were areas trails off of that where there were glades. I don't know if people know what a glade is. And what a glade is these are openings in the forest.
The trees, right.
Where it's like a grassy area surrounded by it. Mm-hmm. So that's what a glade is.
Yeah.
And there were numerous glades. And I would often walk. And then later on, when I was older, and my cousin got her horse, we would go down. And the doctor she bought her horse from, he had other ones of that breed. Mm-hmm. And he would let us borrow them. If we wanted to, if there was a bunch of us wanted to go riding, or if I use her horse,
right?
And I would often go riding by myself up into this wooded area, and so I will honestly say, I've seen more there, of the fae and things like that than here.
Buddy. Yeah.
So I have seen stuff like that, but I was already aware of what it was.
Okay.
Because of my grandfather. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. Have you ever been sitting outside singing or humming softly and seen animals draw closer? I have had that happen. Yeah.
I get chased by butterflies and
hummingbirds. Yeah, I do too. Fairies and elves often take the form of animals and are drawn to storytelling and music, especially when simple and from the heart. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you ever found things inexplicably appearing, disappearing, and being rearranged in your house? Yeah.
Paper goblins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to explain what a paper goblin is after you're done with this.
Okay. Did you ever find yourself excessively sleepy when camping or on extended nature outings? The energies of nature spirits can induce altered states, and if sleeping on or near a fairy mound, you may find yourself unusually tired. I call this the Rip Van Winkle syndrome. That's also if you're ever somewhere in, when you just, you'll just start cracking up for no reason, and you just cannot stop laughing no matter what. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you ever dream of strange beasts or dragons?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel upcoming changes in the weather before there are any signs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always.
And are your favorite times of day dawn and dusk? Favorite times of the year, autumn or spring?
I prefer dusk.
Mm-hmm.
And I prefer autumn.
Yeah.
Those are my seasons. I love those seasons.
Yeah,
so.
I like dusk, but you know, my favorite time is
Summer.
summer.
But okay, so paper goblins. This is a joke that I have.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're right at 30 minutes. So.
Yes. So let's do this.
Yeah.
So what a paper goblin is when you go and you look for that paper that has the information that you want on it.
Yeah.
And you can't find it. You start getting frustrated. And the more frustrated you are, the more power you endow into these paper goblins who have taken the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you have replaced that information, that's when the paper you were looking at. Yeah. Well, what happens is the more that happens, and the more power you're giving these paper goblins, the heavier objects they can take, like car keys.
Yeah.
So be careful. Don't get frustrated. Don't get upset. Just slowly, calmly figure out where you put that piece of paper, and don't empower the paper goblins.
Yeah.
Because they hide stuff a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, there's so much more in here. I mean, we should do this. We should do like a second part to this next week.
No, we did the part with because I will agree with that part. Because we haven't talked about like the Victorian fairy time.
Right.
So
yeah,
we could do that.
Okay.
And then maybe go over things like the changelings and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and even like with the vampires, I could have done a 5-hour lecture easily.
Yeah.
But you know, there are all sorts of things out there that fall within the Fae.
Yeah.
So you know, you've got Bogarts and I have bugbears. You have, like I said, the red caps and stuff like that, and changelings. Not just the regular fairy folk that we think of with like the little winged people, which we will discuss because there was a Victorian era where that was when that became very popular. Yeah. So, but we'll close for today.
Yep.
And
we'll continue this next week.
And Coco says hello and goodbye because she's a love muffin.
All right. So we will see you next week with more on the Fae.
Yes.
All right.
Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.